So kitsune udon, or fox udon, is a Japanese dish which involves udon with some kind of fried tofu on the top. But why is it called frog udon? In this video I'm going to explain, and the answer is we don't know. See you next. Well, to break things down, basically there are a number of theories behind it, some of which are more credible than others, all of them though having some logic behind them. The most common explanation that can be found is that fried tofu is a preferred dish of foxes. That is, foxes, like real foxes, like to eat fried tofu. Or at least they do in a mythological sense. In Japan, foxes have long been associated with some kinds of magic, as well as with the god Inari, whose domains include agriculture. So farmers, as a gift to Inari, would leave out fried tofu for the foxes, which are said to kind of represent and be linked to her. Indeed, this link between fried tofu and Inari is why sushi wrapped in fried tofu, or rice wrapped in fried tofu, is called Inari sushi. That's a reference then to the god, not actually to the wrapping. Now, whether or not real foxes enjoyed these offerings is something that is a topic of debate. Indeed, it's possible to find Japanese people asking this very question, and no one really seems to know for sure. Like, this person here claims that foxes absolutely do like fried food, but also like mayonnaise, although they all recommend at the same time not feeding these to foxes because they are unhealthy. And they state that they actually have experience feeding these things to foxes, I guess going against their own advice. This person here, though, states that, yeah, foxes will eat fried tofu, but it's because they'll eat anything. They don't actually like it, per se. And then this person says that what foxes actually like are deep-fried mice, which were initially given as thanks to the foxes for eating pests, but since monks aren't supposed to kill or eat animals in Japan, they decided to give them tofu instead, as sort of a replacement. This person then claims that what foxes actually like is mice tempura. Indeed, to the extent that if you give a fox in human form, foxes are shapeshifters in Japanese lore, mice tempura, they'll be so happy that they'll transform back into a fox. So look, it's all kind of a wash. I don't really know who to trust on these, although I did find an Australian person who claims that foxes absolutely love KFC and has given them that. So anyway, I can say that if you put fried tofu out for a fox, it might eat it, which may cause a myth that foxes are a big fan. That said, all of this may have no relation to the name kitsune udon at all, because there is a theory that it's just called kitsune udon because the tofu is browned to the color of a Japanese fox's fur. Indeed, kitsune iro ni naru made yaku, or to cook it until it becomes fox-colored, is a common Japanese phrase that even appears in dictionaries. Whether or not it predates kitsune udon, I don't know, but certainly the link between the color of a fox and cooking is one that is established. And there are other, even less popular stories, this one here, which claims that while foxes do love fried tofu, the actual origin of the name is the fact that merchants in Osaka started calling their udon with tofu on it kitsune udon because kitsune are also associated with good luck for business. So it was sort of a charm to, hope that they sell more noodles. All in all then, we're not really sure. It could be any of these three things or none of them. Although I did list them kind of in at least order of popularity. Interestingly though, tanuki udon similarly has a number of origin stories, none of which is 100% either. If you haven't seen tanuki udon, it is usually, there are some differences in what udon is called across Japan dialect to dialect, but generally speaking it is udon with bits of tempura batter crumbs sprinkled throughout. Now one possibility here is again just color. It's not that interesting, but the idea that the color of the tempura flakes was similar to the color of tanuki. The second then has nothing to do with any kind of mythos, but is actually sort of a pun. So importantly, tanuki udon doesn't have actual tempura in it, it just has kind of the leftover bits. And so at times in Japanese history, it's been considered a kind of poor person food. Like you don't have the money for actual tempura udon, you're just eating the tanuki udon. Now the joke here is that tane, or seed, can be used in Japanese to mean main ingredients. So if you're missing the tempura and you just have the bits, you're missing the main ingredient, or tane nuki, tanuki. Personally, I like this theory more than the color one, so I'm just going to believe it, even though the debate is not settled. So there you go. At the end of this video, you don't know actually the origin of either of these names, but you do know that you don't know because you know why you don't know. And that's the exact kind of useless content I hope for in these useless trivia videos. See you in the next one.